So does higher order mathematical intuition. We think, what is this about? Don't know. What is at the heart of it? Don't know. All I can tell you is that I like numbers. I like shapes and colors, their colors and smells and the way they taste. I don't like to take people's word for things. My father finally did stay with us this last months of my mother's illness. He had a study in the smokehouse out back. He cut a big square hole in the wall and put a window as you look in the fields and the creek beyond. His desk was a wooden door set upon sawhorses, and there was an old feathered leather sofa that was stuffed with horsehair. It was all dried and cracked, and the horsehair was leaking out, but he put a blanket over it. I went in one day and sat at his desk and looked at the problem he was working on. I already knew some math, quite a bit actually. I tried to puzzle out the paper, but it was hard. I loved the equations. I loved the big sigma signs with the codes for the summations. I loved the narrative that was unfolding. My father came in and found me there, and I thought I was in trouble, so I jumped back up, and he took me by the hand and led me back to the chair, and sat me down and went over the paper with me. His explanations were clear, simple, but it was more than that. They were filled with metaphor. He drew a couple of Feynman diagrams, and I thought they were pretty cool. They mapped the world of subatomic particles he was attempting to explain. The collisions, the weighted routes. I really understood that the equations were not a supposition of the form whose life was confined to the symbols on the page which described them, but they were there before my eyes. In actuality, they were the paper, the ink, in me, the universe. Their invisibility could never speak against them or their being, their age, which was the age of reality itself, which was itself invisible and always had been. He never let go of my hand. Are you all right? Yes, I'm sorry. Do you want another cigarette? No, I don't even like them. Let's stop. All right, can I ask you something? Sure. What about just some memory of your brother? My brother? Yes. Oh boy, all right. The beach house in North Carolina. When I got up in the morning and went to his room, he'd already gone out, and I fixed a thermos of tea and went to the beach in the dark, and he was sitting there in the sand, and we had tea and waited for the sun. We watched through the dark glasses as it came red and dripping out of the sea. We'd walked on the beach the night before, and there was moon and mock moon that rode in the rings, and we talked about the Paracelline, and I said something to the effect that to speak of such things which were composed solely of light as problematic, or perhaps as wrongly seen, or even wrongly known, or a questionable reality, had always seemed to me to be something in the betrayal. He looked at me and he said, betrayal? And I said, yes, things composed of light, in need of our protection. Then in the morning, we sat in the sand and drank our tea and watched the sun come up.